Welcome back, everyone. Eric Paul's in here with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be giving you guys the picks, previews, and the core plays here for the PGA Championship. Now, we already did do that course preview video, which went over kind of our expectations for this week and kind of the key stats that we'd be looking at. We're able to establish that strokes gained to the green are going to be the key stats we're going to look at. Par 5 scoring, long iron accuracy. Then I went back to the well with some of my effective 9 to 5 only stats, gain stats. So effective strokes gained total we're going to be looking at, and effective strokes gained off the tee, and effective birdie to bogey ratio are going to be the other kind of secondary stats that we're looking at for this week. For tournament history, we kind of had to do a hybrid approach as well. Had to break it down into kind of history 1, history 2, history 3, and history 4. You guys will see that in the next slide, just preparing you guys for that. So H1 is going to be the PGA Championship and the US Open, the previous tournaments there, just the last tournament there. Then H2 is going to be the RSM and RBC Heritage. Just kind of looking at those as comp courses. Those were the best comp courses in which we saw majority of the players in the field. Now, if we want to get a more accurate representation of a comp course, I thought the Corrales, Puerto Rico Open, and the Mayakoba would be the best ones for us. But the unfortunate side is that a lot of the players in this field just simply did not play in those tournaments, so we couldn't really use that too much, but it's nice to look at that as well. And then the H4 is going to be the Players' Championship and the Masters Tournament, which obviously those are going to be the last high-caliber tournaments that we saw. Let's get into the picks for this week. Do want to just say too as well, make sure to give a algorithm friendly like, and if you guys want to, make sure to subscribe. Only about 40% of the viewers are not subscribed, so a lot of you guys are already doing the deed there. But just trying to help 9 to 5 grow and trying to help everyone out in the DFS community here, but highlighting the top 4 picks in this high tier price point range. And honestly, guys, this was very tough to do. This high tier price point range is absolutely loaded. I really like some picks like Bryson, Webb Simpson, just off the top of my head. These were the 4 players that at their current price point, to me, they seem like the safest, but also do have the most upside. So we're going to start off with Justin Thomas here. Justin Thomas, to me, just an elite play. 89% chance to make the cut. We really like that. We look at all the histories that we're looking at, H1, H2, and H3. Absolutely spectacular there. Top 25 and all those. It could be a little bit better in his long iron stat, 72nd in that, but 68th in that strokes gained off the tee. Could be a little bit better than that. Everything else is going to be top 20 or better besides ball striking, where he ranks 39th. So not horrible there. Justin Thomas is checking all the boxes there, though. Top 20 in recent form rank, top 5 in course history rank, top 13 in stat rank, which makes him top 8 in the model. 89% chance to make the cut. Justin Thomas, to me, just going to be a spectacular play at that price point compared to everyone else there. Obviously, this is a major in which most of the time the fair and balanced approach is the way you want to go. So maybe you start out your builds with someone like Xander Scheffler, who Xander Scheffler actually ranks out a little bit better in the model, ranks out 7th best in the model. We can see why, guys. So just all the stats we're looking at, just absolutely spectacular. We know Xander Scheffler has went out and just competed in all these kind of tougher events, the majors and whatnot. Did miss the cut, the players. But other than that, guys, it's been absolutely spectacular from Xander. To me, I'm not worried about him as a pick. He's a guy that should be able to go out and just absolutely dominate. 9.6 is a good price point for him. Then moving down to Victor Hovland. Victor Hovland I actually really do like as well. We look at that H3 that's right there. He's actually won 2 tournaments in which we would be looking at for comp course history based on those tournaments that had the same green type and kind of play similar to what I'm projecting the PGA Championship to play like. So very nice to see that he's won twice in those conditions. Looking at the stats, top 5 stat fit, top 6 in the model, 80% chance to make the cut. Just looking at his recent form, guys, this would be a little bit better if it weren't simply for his mom, okay? His mom called him out at the Players' Championship after the round was over. So he went to mark his ball, and he marked it on this side of the ball, and then when he came back, he put it on this side of the ball. The only person to catch that was actually his mom. Okay, and she called him out after the round, and then Victor Hovland, being the dude that he is, decided, hey, I'm going to give myself the 2-stroke penalty, which actually ended up making him miss the cut. So we take that out. It's been a 2nd, 5th, 2nd, 49th, 42nd, 21st, 3rd, and 3rd place finish. So Victor Hovland really just checking all the boxes this week. Really do like him as a pick. 9.3 is going to be a lot to pay out for him, but I feel pretty good about him as a pick, even at that price point. Then move down into Patrick Reed. So Patrick Reed, I've said it a lot recently. He's always just typically a shoulder shrug play. For those of you guys that don't know, shoulder shrug play is just someone that you end up on as like the 5th or 6th player into your builds. And I wouldn't exactly say Patrick Reed's that. I think we can somewhat go out of our way to play him, maybe as like the 3rd or 4th player into our build, because he does really just dominate in these kind of course history rank, comp course history ranks that we're looking at. Top 5 in that rank, so top 30 in the model could be a little bit better there, but that's mostly because the fact that he's a bad stat rank play. That's just kind of how he is pretty much every tournament. But let's dive down to it a little bit more. So top 20 in par 5 scoring, we like that. Top 12 in effective strokes gained total. That to me kind of tells everything I want to know with Patrick Reed. And he also does rank out top 50 in effective birdie to bogey ratio. So let's just combine those 3 stats. That tells me that Patrick Reed's going to be able to go out and make the cut in an event like this, where for his game, he's probably going to have a little bit more leeway than he would on some other courses. So yeah, Patrick Reed, I really like him as a pick. He does typically tend to play well in some tougher conditions as well. So Patrick Reed to me does make a lot of sense. I would say Webb Simpson is going to be pretty much a similar play, just as safe, maybe not as much upside though as Patrick Reed. Everyone knows I really like Webb Simpson as a pick though, pretty much every week. Now let's move down into the mid-tier price point plays. In this range, I was really shocked to see both Cameron Smith and Daniel Berger. Now with Cameron Smith, I was more shocked to see him up this high. I'm not saying it's not deserved, but we'll see some other players down in that 7K range that are pretty much the exact same play as Cameron Smith. So I was shocked to see him up that high. Then Daniel Berger, I really think he's priced a little bit too low for the caliber of player that he is. Just kind of surprising that he was priced that low. And then we have kind of some decent flyers here in Scottie Scheffler and Louis Oosthuizen. We'll start off with Cameron Smith, though, because he is a player that is technically checking all the boxes. So check all the boxes. They pretty much have to be ranking top 30 in recent form, course history, and stat rank. Thus going to be a top 30 rank play in the model as well. Ranks top 9 in the model, has a 77% chance to make the cut. We look at the comp course history, all pretty well there. 41st, that's okay at the US Open and PGA Championship. That's okay. But then really gets good for the other 2 that we're looking at there. Key stats could be a little bit better. Effective strokes gained off the tee. So if he struggles this week, it's literally going to be because of that stat right there. But we can see not really affecting him that much because he is pretty good with the long iron there, and he is scoring on par 5. So kind of weird that off the tee is that bad when you got par 5 and long iron, doing pretty well. So I'm not too worried about Cameron Smith there. Stat wise, he does rank out, top 21 stat rank. Has made 7 straight cuts in a row, and it's been really spectacular, his 7 straight cuts in a row. 4th at the Genesis Invite, 11th, 17th, 28th, 10th, and 9th place finish. Cameron Smith just been playing some great golf. Going to be tough to ignore him, but like I said, a little bit too priced up for me. Looking at Daniel Berger, he is almost checking all the boxes. Recent form rank, that's where he's getting knocked. He did miss the cut at the Masters, but before that, had been playing pretty well. 1st, 35th, 9th, 18th. That'll match play, so don't put too much into that. But 13th at the RBC Heritage as well. Look at all the stats for Daniel Berger as well. We really like to see that. Daniel Berger is someone that typically does play better in windy conditions. He actually ranks top 5 in 2021 in terms of players in this field in windy conditions and strokes gained in windy conditions. So nice to see Daniel Berger at a safe price point. I don't really think we have to jam in any player in this price point range, in the mid-tier price point range, but if there's someone I was trying to go out of my way to play in this price point range, it would be Daniel Berger. He has a 70% chance to make the cut. Top 25 in the model. Don't mind him as a pick. Then moving on to Scottie Scheffler. Scottie Scheffler is someone whose recent form rank is going to go up. So I am recording this Saturday evening. They're finishing up the Byron Nelson. He's probably going to have another good round on Sunday, which, let's factor in maybe a top 25 finish in here. Obviously, that's going to help out his recent form rank a little bit more. Besides the players, he's been really spectacular. 7th, 20th, 5th, 2nd, 54th, 18th, and 29th place finish. Now, he still did miss the cut at the players, and that's why his H4 comp course history rank is not the best, but everything else is going to be good. Scottie Scheffler really does rank out as a player that should have some upside. I won't go crazy with him, probably won't play him in cash either, but he's one that I could see going out and getting a top 10 finish. Scottie Scheffler at 8.5 is going to be worth the risk in about 10% of your builds. Then looking at Louis Oosthuizen here, Louis Oosthuizen just always seems to play well in majors, in more difficult events. I mentioned Daniel Berger being top 5 in those windy conditions. Well, Louis Oosthuizen is going to be the exact same thing. So if it does look like it's going to get more windy, Louis Oosthuizen would be someone that you would want to look at as well, maybe even a little bit more. That could be a 50-50 decision maker between like Sky Scheffler and Louis Oosthuizen, where, hey, it's looking like it's going to be a little bit more windy. Let's roll with Louis instead. We can see comp course history pretty good there. Did miss the cut recently. I believe it was at the RBC Heritage. We'd have to look at which one it was. But other than that, really spectacular. Played well at the Players and the Masters. Always plays well in majors, guys. That's pretty much the simple way to put it. And he is ranking out pretty well. Top 20 stat-wise, top 25 in the model, 66% chance to make the cut, which personally, I'd probably bump that up to around 75%. So 8K for Louis Oosthuizen for kind of a safer pick. Really do like that price point for Louis Oosthuizen. But like I said, guys, you don't really have to jam players in this price range all too much, because this 7K range, this low tier price range, is absolutely loaded. We'll get into that right now. So in this price point range, it was very tough for me to really narrow this down to the top 4 players in this price point range. There's a lot of 9 to 5 players in here that we've been on the whole year. Corey Connors, Cameron Tringale, Chris Kirk, Keegan Bradley. There's a bunch of players in this price point range that I really do like as picks, but to me, these ones are going to be the safest picks given their price point. So we'll start off with core play, Abraham Ancer. Honestly, guys, I really don't see how we avoid Abraham Ancer this week. Checking all the boxes and everything that we want to see. Top 10 in both course history rank and recent form rank. Now, it's comp course history. I keep saying that, but just want to reiterate that. Stat rank could be a little bit better. That's going to be the worry with him. Effective stroke gain off the tee, 90th, and that's obviously not that good. And long iron accuracy, that's not that good. So if this course does play long, like obviously it should, being 7,800 yards, that might be the worry with him. But we look at effective bird to bogey ratio, top 25 in that, top 30 pretty much in every other stat that we're looking at. So all in all, I do think that Abraham Ancer is going to continue his great recent form that he's been in. 8 straight made cuts in a row, with his most recent finishes being 2nd, 5th, 18th, 26th, 23rd, and 18th. 22nd and 18th. So obviously he's just been the top 30 machine as of recent over his last 8 starts. Ranks top 11 in the model, has a 69% chance to make the cut. At 7.9, Abraham Ancer, just that's almost a plug and play for me. But that's the problem with this price range, is that almost everyone is going to be a plug and play. We got Joaquin Niemann here, who is also checking all the boxes here, top 35 and everything that we're looking at. So, could be a little bit better in course history rank, but everything is looking good enough there for me. Staff fit wise, he ranks 2nd best in the field, guys. Long iron accuracy could be a little bit better, but everything else is going to be top 20 or better. So top 20 in ball striking, stroke gain to the green, par 5 scoring, effective stroke gain total, effective stroke gain off the tee, and effective birdie to bogey ratio. Joaquin Niemann probably should be a dark horse to potentially go on and win this one. He ranks top 15 in the mile, 72% chance to make the cut. Recent form rank has been pretty good as well. Seeing that he played well at the Masters, I wouldn't exactly say that's a good tournament for him. This one should be one where he goes out and contends for, I don't want to say the title because there's a lot of good players, but at least for a top 25 finish, Joaquin Niemann at this price point is just really tough to pass up on. But so is freaking Paul Casey here. Honestly, I think Paul Casey is going to be chalk. I'm doing this on Saturday, but to me, I see Paul Casey at this number, and to me, it's almost just like a no-brainer. We know that he goes out and plays well more at the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship. Now, he does always kind of screw people randomly, okay? And that might be what keeps people off of him, okay? The Paul Casey experience is something, okay? If anyone's ever rostered him, they know what I'm talking about. It can be a roller coaster ride. But to get Paul Casey at 7.7 is just kind of crazy to me. He's a guy that probably could have been priced at 9K, and I would have thought about him a little bit as a pick. What's the difference between him and Patrick Reed? Honestly, what's the difference? Except for, I would say Paul Casey has just as much upside. Maybe not someone that we expect could go out and win, but just as much safety, just as much likelihood to go on top 10. Good stat fit. On a course like this, where it's set up for his strengths, I don't get the price point of 7.7 for him on DraftKings this week. Going to be tough to ignore there. Not exactly saying he's a core play, because I do think he could be chalk, and that could end up maybe being bad chalk. But Paul Casey at 7.7, just really a head scratcher there. Another head scratcher, Charlie Hoffman. Okay, this guy has been playing well. We look at that comp course history rank, pretty good at that. Top 12 there, guys. That is really good. Recent form rank top 20, stat rank top 12. And this is saying something for Charlie Hoffman, because Charlie Hoffman kind of had a bad part of his season there where he was struggling. I believe it was, what tournament was it? There's a tournament where he missed the cut. It was a bad missed cut. I'm like, you know what, guys? I actually think Charlie Hoffman could be like the comeback player of the year. I think he could have a career year. And since then, he's been doing that. 9 straight make cuts in a row, top 12 staff at top 10 in the model. To me, this is kind of a weird price point for a guy who should fit this style of course. He hits it longer. He scores on par fives for the most part, and he just doesn't make that many mistakes. Top 20 in strokes gained tee to green, top 20 in effective birdie to bogey ratio, top 25 in effective strokes gained total. So yeah, Charlie Hoffman to me at 7.3 is just an absolutely good price point this week. All right, so now moving down into that value tier price point range, that sub 7K price point range. This is a very interesting week in which we have a very similar play to that of Corey Connors at the Masters. Let's just rewind a little bit. So Corey Connors the previous week was like a 9.5K play, ended up getting a top 10 finish, and then he was priced at 6.9, which is pretty much looking exactly the same case as Ryan Palmer here. Ryan Palmer is checking all the boxes just like Corey Connors was heading into the Masters. I don't really get this price point, guys. 6.9 for a guy that's made 14 straight cuts in a row, ranks top 10 stat rank wise. I mean, that's just kind of a head scratcher for me. I don't really get this price point. Now, I don't think we have to go into the value tier price point range at all. There's so many good quality plays in that 7K price point range, but if you do have to go into the value range, Ryan Palmer is definitely the answer there. We can see the key stats there. Top 50 and everything that we're looking at this week. So just absolutely spectacular there. Like I said, really good recent form. The only worry with Ryan Palmer is that, and maybe that's why he's priced here, is the upside. I think we could probably lock in a top 35 finish this week. I just don't know if we're going to get close to the top 10 finish, but 6.9 for a make cut, that's really good. Then we're going to pull up Thomas Pieters here as well. So Thomas Pieters is going to be coming off of a miscut at the AT&T. Byron Nelson, he missed the cut, -5, missed the cut on the numbers. So not horrible there. I'm fine with that. That's whatever. But we look at kind of his data here, if you will. It's going to change. It's going to change a little bit. So his recent form rank is going to drop off a little bit. Probably going to bump down a little bit more in the model, but we don't have that much to go off of in the model. All we have to go off of from him is going to be 2 top 15 finishes right now at the Puerto Rico Open and the Corrales, which, like I said earlier, are going to be 2 of the comp courses that we're looking at. So he's played well at those type of tournaments. And honestly, if we just think about Thomas Pieters off the top of our head, while we're looking at this course, we'd say, yeah, this is a tournament or course that should fit Thomas Pieters. So 6.8 for, a solid GPP flyer. I don't mind that. And then it really does drop off here, guys. Charles Schwartzel is going to really bump up a lot here after the Byron Nelson stats get in there. Recent form is going to pop up. Stat rank is going to pop up, and he's probably going to be top 60 ranked in the model. So his recent form is going to be absolutely spectacular. He is like top 10 right now as of recording this at the Byron Nelson. So we're going to see like maybe, let's just say top 20 finish there, a 20th there, then a top 15 at the WFC, 21st at the Valspar, 26th at the Masters. So 3 straight finishes of top 30 or better. If we can get a top 30 finish out of a value play here in this price range, that is absolutely great. And then we're looking at Taylor Gooch, who, like Charles Schwartzel, his data is going to get much better on Monday when the updates are able to be made there. Don't mind him at this price range, 6.6. But like I said, guys, I really don't think we have to dip down into the value tier price range, except for if we're going for Ryan Palmer. But even still, I don't even think we have to do that. The 7K range is so loaded. That'd be the route that I would want to go. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. The PGA Championship core plays. This is going to be a fun one that we've been looking forward to a lot. This is top 5 in PGA DFS contests each and every year. Soft pricing. You can make pretty much whatever build you want work. And as you guys can see, it should be a pretty good week for everyone. Make sure to give me a like and subscribe in the video, guys. If you guys want to join 9 to 5 Nation, it is going to be $10 a month. Best value in PGA DFS. Really curated it towards you guys, the PGA DFS player. All the tools that you guys would need and more to succeed. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and as always, let's keep cashing.